Now, we talked a little bit about number sets. I really wanted to talk to you about numbers and calculations. Most of the time, they are going to want you to write numbers exact. So if you ended up with an answer of square root of 3, leave it. Same thing with 1/3. You should never go to the decimal if you have an exact number. These are considered exact. Now, another thing that's really important in IB is the difference between significant figures and decimal places. So I really want to talk about significant figures. The first significant figure, so let's talk about significant figures. The very first significant figure in your number is the very first digit. So let's look at some. Usually we want to go to 3 significant figures. This is different than rounding to 3 decimal places. So let's look at the difference between rounding to 3 decimal places and 3 significant figures. So I'm going to take a few numbers here and we're going to talk through this. So let's look at the number 6.5879. 3 significant figures means I need to start here. That's 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to round. 7 is higher than 5, so that becomes 6.59. Compare that to 3 decimal places. 3 decimal places, I start where the decimal is, 1, 2, 3, and then I round. So that would be 6.588. Do you see the difference there? Let's look at another one and you'll see it a little bit more. The next one I'm going to do is a small decimal, so let's look at 0.002562. So the very first significant figure is the very first number. We exclude the zeros. So we're going to start here with 2. That's the first significant figure. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to cut off right there. So that's going to give me 0.0025, and then I'll look to see if I round up or leave it. Leave it. Compare that to 3 decimal places. 3 decimal places, I count from the decimal 1, 2, 3. So this would be 0.003. Do you see how that's a big difference there? Well, let's do another one so we can really compare. What about a big number? 10354. 3 significant figures. First figure, second, third. So this would be 10400. The idea here is if I have something that's 10,354, is the 54 really going to matter much? No. The 10,400 is where I really want to be more exact. Now, how is that going to be in 3 decimal places? In decimal places, we'd have to go 0.000. There is no decimal places in the original. What about, change back to color, 34.6582. Do you see how the significance of these later digits, decimal places, really won't matter? It's these first 3 figures that make the most difference. 3, 4, and then decimal. So this is 1 place 2. Third significant figure, then I look to see if I round. So this is going to be 34.7. If I was going to 3 decimal places, I'd start with the decimal, 6, 5, and then I'd look at the 8 and see if I'm going to round up or down. It's going to stay. In IB, everything, unless specifically listed that they wanted at a certain decimal place or they wanted exact, you should leave it to 3 significant figures. It's extremely important. Now, something else that you'll be asked to do is, especially when you round, either significant figures or rounding to a decimal place, you're getting a little bit of an error, right? Well, IB is going to expect you to figure out what that percentage of an error is, how much of an error this is really causing. So to find this, it's called a percent error. And I'm going to write down the formula that you would find in your formula book, and then we'll talk through what everything means. The VA is the approximate, VE is the exact, divided by the exact answer. Now, the formula chart has times 100 because you want to leave it as a percent, but we know how to work with this. So let's say I took, let's take this large number. How much of a difference is it going to make? So the approximation is 10,400. The exact answer was 10,354 divided by that exact answer. And let me see if I can grab a calculator real fast. Calculator that works would be good. Okay, I found one that worked. Sorry about that. Okay, so in my calculator, I would do 10,400 minus 10,354. Get the answer, then divide. Remember your order of operations. And it gives me 0.00444. Again, I probably want to go 3 decimal places. So let's look at what that would be. Okay, I'm going to write this down, 0.0044427. Not 3 decimal places, 3 significant figures. Now, percentage-wise, that's going to be, we're going to multiply by 100, right, to write as a percent. So this is going to be I'm going to put a 0 in front, 444%. Is it making that much of a difference? That's a really small percentage of an error that would be in that problem. But that's all you really have to do to find that percentage error. Now you'll see in your sample problems, they'll have you finding exact area, rounding, and then seeing what that percent error is.